Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, the Anime Abu here, coming at you with part 19 of What If Naruto is Like Minato, otherwise known as Return of the Flash on Wattpad. I have not been saying that in recent episodes, and I apologize for anybody wondering what the book is that I'm reading at the moment. I'm going to try to keep this one as short-winded as I can possible. Like, comment, and subscribe. I genuinely appreciate it. And I would appreciate if you turn on post notifications, so you get notified when I post a video. Yeah, I also respond to all comments, heart all comments, like all comments. Yes. Also, comment down below if you guys would like me to set up something for the subs so that we can, at least have conversation outside of the YouTube comment section. I'm super down for that, and I wanted to start a series with just like conversations with subs just to incorporate you guys into the channel and make it feel more like you're a part of it. You know what I mean? I feel like that'd be enjoyable, and I would enjoy that as well. Also, things to come. I'm looking forward to writing my own story soon. I just need to get a break in school, either spring break or summer break. I'll be writing my own story, hopefully, for you guys. Yeah, I want to do that a lot, and I have some pictures and thumbnails saved up that I want to use. So we're gonna go with those. But other than that, I think that's about it. That's all I really wanted to say to you guys. Genuinely appreciate all the love and support. Hope you subscribe if you're watching this video and you're new. And without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Naruto flashed straight to his parents' home. He needed something to calm down, something to focus on. His mind was in a haze, with all his rational thoughts and logic buried beneath a storm of emotions he could make no sense of. This was the first time he was feeling something like this, and his gut instinct was understandably confused. Fortunately, he had Kurama to talk some sense in him. "Naruto, calm down. Take it slowly, step by step," he rumbled in a calm manner, trying to work the panic out of Naruto's system by pushing some of his yang chakra through. He could feel Naruto trying to think through this logically, as he had done with every situation before. Naruto registered Kurama's shouts, and upon hearing the annoyance in his voice, he forcefully shook his head. He took deep breaths, letting each out slowly. It took him over 5 minutes to calm down enough so he could listen to Kurama. He sat down in the living room sofa right in front of his parents' portrait. He put his chin on top of his joint hands and listened. "Alright, I'm calm now. I'm sorry for that. I just didn't know what to do," he said in a neutral tone with a hint of confusion in it. Kurama scoffed. "As you should be. I really don't see what there's panic about. You should be jumping in ecstasy instead, having finally had your first kiss with a girl." Naruto frowned a bit. "Maybe you're right. However, even if I kissed her, she's going to be my enemy on the day of the finals. I don't know what I would do. As a shinobi of the leaf, it's my sworn duty to destroy the enemies of the leaf. However, I know that I won't be able to bring myself to kill Tamari. I can't even imagine the treatment a prisoner of Konoha gets." Kurama raised an eyebrow. "What you need to do is slow down. It's not up to you to decide what happens to them. That's the job of the Hokage. Your job is to simply stop them from completing their mission by any means necessary." Naruto thought about it, weighing Kurama's words intensely. He was right. He simply needed to stop the sand from achieving their goals. He figured that he might have to take some lives on the day of the finals, but he could choose to spare some. He got up, his keen mind slowly working out the various possibilities and scenarios as he made his way to the simulation. He already knew that Gaara was the biggest part of the opposition's plans, so he would have to neutralize him by any means. If he could stop Gaara, there was no other trump card that he could think of that Suna can fall back on. He could choose to spare Tamari, and she can't do anything on her own. Her older brother was easy to handle as well. Based on his observation, Kankuro was a skilled puppeteer, but he was also a bit of an idiot. Both were a very small part of the entire invasion, the pawns on the chessboard. He removed his resistance seals and set the simulation to level 6. He stepped inside the room and activated the simulation with the seal sequence. As his opponent formed in front of him, he settled into his stance, eyes steely. As soon as the command was given, he dashed forward in a flash step. "I'll figure out what to do." There's a little time skipped after the fight. The fight was tough, easily the toughest that Naruto had ever fought. Bruises and sore muscles were definitely the proof of that. He winced as he rolled his shoulder, trying to relax it a bit as he exited the room. He had given it his utmost effort from the beginning, trying to end it as quickly as possible. However, he wasn't surprised at all when he was parried blow for blow, jab for jab, neither managing to gain the upper hand on the other for a whole 15 minutes. Naruto couldn't hit his opponent, but he made sure that his opponent couldn't hit him either. It soon became clear that he won't be able to gain the upper hand if he continued like this, so he activated the blazing hands technique. At first, he looked like he gained a slight advantage, but he was forced onto the defensive again when his opponent copied the blazing hand and used it against him just as effectively. Naruto absently fingered the small burnt hole in his jacket as he walked up to the basement. as he walked up the basement. The blazing hand had caught him off guard for a moment, which is why there was a burnt hole. But he managed to put up a successful defense, all the while trying to think of something that would give him an edge in the fight. The fact that there was no pattern to identify didn't help at all. It all came down to this. The only way he was beating his opponent was by catching him off guard and capitalizing on that hard and fast. Give the opponent no time to recover or think up a strategy. However, it had to be something completely new, something out of the box. It did not escape his observation that the moves he fought in the previous levels didn't work on the next. So he waited, all the while defending himself from his opponent. It took him the better part of 20 minutes to think up something that was even remotely had a chance of working. The blazing hand was somewhat based on the tree walking exercise. You had to maintain a constant amount of chakra on your hands or feet. However, instead of being normal chakra, it has to be katon. Katon was fire, and fire was weak to water, and vice versa. With this in mind, Naruto improvised. Instead of maintaining katon chakra, he changed the nature to suiton. It wasn't difficult at all. If he didn't count the constant attacking of his person, it was no surprise that the blazing hand technique of his opponent was neutralized, but water chakra had no offensive capability in taijutsu. But his goal was something else entirely. Oh shit. Something else entirely. He maintained the change for only 10 seconds, after which he switched back to katon. He smirked when he saw his attack getting neutralized, the same way he neutralized them. His opponent was using suiton to counter his blazing hand. This was the chance he was waiting for. Without a moment to waste, he flipped away and charged back. He used the potential of his danger sense to the maximum, slowing down his perception, waiting for the exact moment to strike. With his first punch towards the stomach was predictably blocked by a fist he struck. Red lightning danced across his body of his opponent, sending his electrical impulses into overdrive and spamming his muscles. Naruto had gathered a small amount of Raiton chakra in his punch, and since the opponent was using Suiton to counter Blazing Hand, the water only boosted the effects of the electricity on his body. Naruto seized his chance. He would have to finish this in one move, otherwise he risked giving the opponent a chance to adapt. He backflipped, enforcing his right heel with chakra to amplify the damage. His opponent went flying in the air. Naruto smirked when he heard the telltale sound of a bone crack, but when he didn't stop his movement there. He jumped a bit and spun counterclockwise, timing his jump such that his left foot made a painful contact with the opponent's gut, sending him flying back. His back struck the wall hard. His head bumped back as well due to momentum. Naruto was already flash stepping forward as soon as his kick ended. He gathered a large amount of lightning in his fist, making tiny sparks go off in random directions. He struck his fist right into the chest where his heart is. It went right through, and emerging on the other side, the Raiton burned away any blood that would have gathered on his fist. If it were a real opponent, as it wasn't, the simulation ended, signifying his victory. The sheer amount of lightning in his hand had given him a high amount of piercing power, the power to cut through almost anything. Naruto didn't know, but he unintentionally recreated something similar to the Chidori, the technique that Kakashi was infamous for. No wonder he didn't get back up, he thought as he prepared to flash away. The simulation had ended after that. His purpose was achieved, and he managed to distract himself from the whirlpool of panic he was going through. Now that his mind was focused enough, he could logically think this through on what he would do the next day of the invasion, and he decided what he would do. For now, he needed to rest. He had an invasion to prepare for. Nice fight, dude. Sometimes I get proud of myself for not messing up the words that much. Alright, let's go. Naruto was sleeping comfortably, a peaceful smile on his face. The sun peeked over the horizon slowly, and as soon as the first rays of sun touched his face, his eyes fluttered open. He blinked his eyes several times to clear the sleep out of them. He then put his hands behind his head and just stared at the ceiling, attempting to piece together the facts he knew. Okay, here are the facts. Orochimaru attacked us in the second phase, making it clear that he's after Sasuke for some reason. From what I learned from Tamari, the Sand and the Sound are planning a combined invasion on the Leaf on the day of the finals. So it's not just the Sand and the Sound Shinobi will be fighting each other, but the Kage will fight as well. Gigi's up against the Kaze Kage and possibly Orochimaru as well, as Snake just wanted to see the Leaf destroyed, given the fact that he was denied the title of Yondaime by Gigi. The fact that Gigi only cemented the fact that he would never become Hokage by declaring him a missing nin is only icing on the cake. He wanted to see the Leaf utterly destroyed. Naruto frowned heavily at his thoughts. The Leaf was in a very bad situation. He knew that Gigi must have organized his forces accordingly upon learning of the invasion 2 days ago, so he only needed to worry about himself. It was finally time to cut loose. He was ready to show the world who he really was. Though it will be amusing to see whether the world is ready to know who I really am, Naruto smirked. He completed his morning rituals and was waiting for his clone to finish making breakfast. Today he would be resting entirely so he could fight in peak condition tomorrow, which means he had ample amount of time to come up with a plan on how to deal with Gaara. He doubted it was simple enough to get close to Gaara to apply the 5-element seal, for his absolute defense was nothing to laugh at. The clone was grumbling about slave drivers when he served breakfast to Naruto. Naruto proceeded to dispel the clones while he ate the pancakes. He began thinking of ways to beat Gaara as he slowly ate his breakfast. Taijutsu was out of the question if what Gaara did to Lee was anything to go by. Genjutsu was a useless option to use against the Jinchuriki, for the beast inside them would release the illusion for them. That left ninjutsu and fuinjutsu. Gaara primarily used sand, which was a glaring weakness for Naruto to exploit. Naruto knew how well Gaara could control the sand, but he doubted he could control it well enough when it got soaking wet in water. Wet sand was heavy. Fire was good to use if hot enough to turn the sand to glass. He could use lightning, but he preferred if it didn't come to that. He would douse Gaara in so much water he would be hard-pressed to find enough sand that he could control. Fuinjutsu was something he could use in great effect. A chakra absorption barrier would effectively trap and drain Gaara of his chakra until he dropped unconscious. But that presented another problem. Kurama told him that the moment Gaara falls asleep, Shikaku would seize control and get free. So he would have to deal with the Biju. Thank God for the fox summons, he thought as he washed his plates. He dried them and went back to his room. Gazing in the mirror, he saw his hair and sighed wistfully. A second later, a clone popped into existence, already knowing what to do. He picked up a blade and scissors and set about to cutting the original's hair. Tears of regret flowed out from his eyes. Why are you cutting your hair, Prime? It's such fine hair. Naruto turned in confusion. Why are you complaining? The clown scowled. I know what you want to do with your hair, and I said it's idiotic because we look like idiots. Naruto snorted. Who says you have an option? The clone grumbled as he set to cutting the hair, while Naruto remained on guards, ready to dispel the clone in case he tried to shave him bald. 15 minutes later, Naruto gazed at himself in the mirror, smiling as he saw his new hairstyle. He even had his whiskers removed, with patches of hair with a pattern that he had hardly looked good on anyone. Wait. For patches of hair, He even had his whiskers removed, for patches of hair with a pattern that he had hardly looked good. Okay. He had cut his ponytail, causing his hair to fall around and making 2 jaw-length spiky ear tails on either side of his head. He experimentally lifted his right hand and spiked his head forward. He smiled when the hair seemed to actually spike forward and stay like that. People are gonna get a heart attack tomorrow. He smirked. He went into the bathroom and he looking like Minato right now. He took a quick shower. I have to prepare something back up for Gigi, for he may face the Kazekage and Orochimaru at the same time. He thought as he wiped himself dry. What do I have in mind? The sudden deep baritone caused him to blink once. About time you woke up. I was beginning to worry when you didn't respond to my thinking earlier. Kurama scoffed. You're about 10,000 years too young to worry about me. Anyway, what do you have in mind? Putting on his clothes, he scoffed in return and replied, I'm only a genin. I can only prepare a few hundred shadow clones, nothing else. Kurama thought for a few moments and said, You know you underestimate your shadow clones. Don't forget you're decently skilled mortal of your age. He gracefully ignored the snort from his host. And as such, shadow clones of your caliber can act as great support for anyone. If you say so, Naruto absently replied as he dressed up as usual. He looked at his hair in the mirror, noting the way in which it formed a spiky mess on his hair. He arranged it so it spiked forward on top of his head. He wondered what to do about his ear tails. He knew that his father, too, had jaw-length bangs on either side of his head. He could replicate that, but he didn't want his hair sticking around his face if it got wet with water. He could tie the bangs under his headband, but then it would still stick randomly when wet. What to do? It's quite rare to see someone like you who never pays attention to irrelevant things fussing over your hair. Naruto scowled. It's a relevant concern, okay? And when did I ask for your opinion on this anyways? You didn't. I was simply stating a fact. The reply was swiftly delivered. Anyway, I have something that you can try. A bit old style, but you might do some justice to it. 5 minutes later, Naruto was looking over his new haircut. You know, Kurama, this is actually a good look on me. You do have some good advice sometimes. The beast snarled in annoyance. You sure have some nerve making fun of me like that. Naruto smirked but said nothing, further aggravating the Biju within. He had tied his bangs in the middle with bandages, then tied his headband over the bangs. He has Ashura's hairstyle. Search for Naruto Ashura hairstyle. You guys know who Ashura is, right? Indra's brother, son of Hagoromo, grandson of Kaguya. You know? He literally is... Okay. You know what I'm talking about. He grabbed 2 blank scrolls and his sealing supplies. He felt for the marker he had left on the training spot where Jiraiya trained for the last 3 weeks. He was gone in a flash. Naruto appeared in the clearing, spreading out his senses and confirming if he was truly alone or not. When he confirmed, he sat down and opened one of the scrolls, taking out his brush and ink. He started writing seals for a prisoner containment scroll that had a slight alteration. In just under a minute, he had completely written down the sealing sequence. He inspected it for any mistakes, then nodded upon finding none. Standing up, he made a half-ram seal. Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. It's 5:30. I haven't slept. Around 200 shadow clones popped into existence. Alright, I want you to divide into 2 groups of 100. Hi! For a second, Naruto feared that the sound of 200 people simultaneously shouting would draw someone's attention. He sensed for any foreign chakra but found none. Nonetheless, he had to do this quickly. It took him under 10 minutes, but he managed to seal 1 group of clones into the scroll. Normally, a prisoner scroll is made for dead people who have no chakra. Also, it's made only for 1 person, so Naruto had to tweak the seals a bit so that the amount of chakra that was shaped into his 100 shadow clones did not get disturbed in any way. Also, he tweaked the seal to allow solid 100 constructs to safely get sealed. He exhaled a breath and did the same with the other 100. In 20 minutes, he had prepared a backup for himself and Gigi, each backup worth 100 shadow clones. Oh, I haven't slept and it's 5:30. What time is it? How long are you? That's it, bro. It feels like long. I digress. Let's get this going. Alright, my work is done for today. Kurama, will my reserves be back up to full by tomorrow? Easily, leave it to me. I might even be able to expand them a bit. Naruto nodded, pleased with the development. All that was left is to wait for tomorrow. This is a little skip of perspectives. Tamari watched as her sensei paced in the room with agitation. She glanced over at the other occupants in the room. Kankuro was cleaning his puppets but kept a wary eye on their sensei as if unnerved by his recent behavior. Gato was simply staring out the window, arms crossed. No one knew what Gato was thinking all the time, but it wasn't hard to guess that he was bloodthirsty. All this time, there had been no one Gaara managed to kill, aside from the second phase of the exams. He was getting restless, and that spelled danger for all of them. Tamari thought back to the events of last night and had to vehemently fight off the blush that threatened to cover her entire face in red. That was her first kiss, and it couldn't have been better. The way they moved against each other was just mesmerizing, but then the memories of what happened before their kiss came up and Tamari found it easier to beat back the blush. She had planned to tell her sensei about her being ambushed, but was dumbfounded when Baki told her that they may have already been discovered. There was a loose end untied. Some Konoha shinobi had been spying on Baki's secret meeting with their ally. Baki had almost managed to finish him off, but the shinobi was rescued by someone. Someone so fast that all Baki had managed to see was a blonde blur and a blue flash, which meant Tamari didn't need to tell them if they had already been discovered. Baki was getting worried about the next day. The Kazekage had told them that they would be proceeding with the invasion no matter what. So far, the Konoha forces had not shown any signs that they knew about the invasion. But he had a bad feeling in his gut, and his entire shinobi career had told him to always trust his gut. He had no choice but to ignore it and follow the orders of his leader. Alright. That boy Baki know he in trouble, dog. Boy, Baki no intro. Does anybody watch the other anime with Baki Hanma? You know what I'm talking about? The fighting anime? I think it's literally called Baki. Dude, that anime is pretty cool too. I actually like that one. It is good. Alright, let's go. We're gonna go all the way up till this flashback ends, okay? Even though I know no one's gonna respond, but okay. Morning arrived sooner than Naruto thought. He got up thinking about what would happen today. 2 things were sure to happen. He was not just gonna beat Neji, no. That would be too light of a punishment for what he did to Hinata. He would show him just how little fate meant to him. He was going to utterly humiliate the Hyuga. The chance of him winning were already in his favor with the lack of chakra network, but he would put effort for Neji. The other thing was the invasion. Something that scared Naruto a bit. So many people could die, and all those people would not just be enemies, but his comrades as well. He would do whatever he could to protect his comrades, even if it meant putting himself on the line of fire. He shook his head, wiping that line of thought immediately. He would fight like a shinobi today, fast, deceptive, and ruthless. He already planned on how to beat Gaara. Whether they crossed paths in the finals or on the battlefield, Gaara would either lose or die. He personally preferred if it didn't come to the second choice, though. Getting up, he quickly got ready, checked and double-checked his hip pouches and holsters, nodding when he saw they were fully stocked with what he needed. He put the backup scrolls in the pouches as well, reminding himself to give one of them to Gigi. He tied his headband around his head and tied his hair just like yesterday. He smirked when he saw that he almost looked like a mini-me of his father. Today would be marked as the reveal of the legacy of the Yondaime Hokage. Boom! Alright, the village was in a buzz, looking livelier than usual. Many people noted, however, there was reason to be. Today was the day of the Chunin finals. Come back, bro. Come back, bro. Is it still recording, bro? Thank God. Oh my gosh. This part's gonna be shorter. Alright, the village was in a buzz, looking livelier than usual, many people noted. However, there was reason to be. Today was the day of the Chunin finals. People chatted happily as they made their way to the stadium, talking about who would win and who they would place their bets on. Of course, most of the buzz was about the last Uchiha. Many people were sure that the last Uchiha would no doubt emerge as the winner of the Chunin exams. It seemed as if people had reason to believe that the last Uchiha was no other than the younger brother of Uchiha Itachi, the greatest prodigy to come out of the Uchiha clan. So there was a lot of hope placed on the youngest Uchiha to perform well. Many other people were rooting for the Hyuga genius, Hyuga Neji. The boy was hailed as the prodigy of the Hyuga clan, and there was no doubt as to how powerful that clan was. A prodigy of a clan such as the Hyuga would no doubt be another favorable contender for the title of the winner of Chunin exams. Naruto smirked made his way to the stadium, ensuring he was out of everyone's sight. It was important for him to not be seen by anyone. He wanted his entrance to be one worthy enough for the son of the Yondaime. As he made his way to the stadium, he paid close attention to what people are saying. Most of the people seemed damn sure of Sasuke's victory, while others were in favor of the Hyuga. Others were not even mentioned, which suited him just fine. The more he was ignored, the more potent would be the guilt. He wanted the people of Konoha to know just who they tormented all the while back. As the stadium came into sight, Naruto changed his route to arrive at the back of the stadium. Looking up, he saw the back of the wall of the stadium looming in front of him. There's still over 5 minutes before the announcements began, he mused. He sat down to wait, and while he waited, he thought back to what Neji had said during the prelims. Naruto watched in horror as Neji stood over the downed form of Hinata, who was twitching in pain. No one can defy fate, Hinata-sama. Fate deemed you to be weak. That's why you lost to me. Flashback end. Naruto frowned as he thought back to those words. The amount of scorn Neji held for his sister was unreal. He whispered, "Why do you believe in fate so much, Neji? Just what happened to you to believe in bullshit like that?" He was shook out of his thoughts when his keen ears picked up the announcement. "All finals contestants, please get down to the arena." Naruto took a deep breath and stood up. This is it, he told himself. Looking up, he saw the top of the wall was about 10 meters above the branch of the tree he was standing on. He made a clone and charged his legs with chakra and jumped up, easily vaulting over the wall. I almost want to keep going, but also no, because this next part is important, and so I don't want to half-ass this. Alright guys, so we're going to stop it right here, right before they start, all the stuff. I feel like that's a solid spot to end it, even though we're barely into this chapter. I'm going to need 3 parts for just one chapter, but that's whatever. More parts for you guys, I guess. Hopefully you enjoy them. So that's going to be it for me, yeah. It's 5:30 in the morning. I should probably take a little nap before I go to school tomorrow. I got to wake up in an hour and a half to go to class, to get ready for school, but it's whatever. So yeah, I'm finna go take a nap. Like, comment, subscribe, respond to all comments, heart all comments, like all comments. I genuinely appreciate them, and I appreciate all the love. If you do decide to subscribe, please turn on post notifications so that you can notify whenever I post. If not, that's okay, and I understand, you might be on a weirder device, such as Xbox, PlayStation, TV, Roku, something, I don't know. You might be on something where you can't, but if you can, please do so. And also, please do so comment if you can. If not, I understand. Leave a like. I genuinely appreciate it. But chat, is your boy, the Anime Abu, and I'm out. Deuces.